Penn Badgley, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Hello. Thank you.
How did you approach your dating life in your 20s?
I was not good at what felt like dating is. Is it ever casual? Show me somebody who really, truly is casual about it. I'll wait. Not that they act casual about it, that they feel casual about it. I'll wait. Please, I would like to see it in the comments. Joe is the embodiment of not realizing any of this.
Is it true you also almost turned this role down?
Yeah, it's my thing. By the time I was 20, I was like feeling real disillusioned and dried up and tired of being in Hollywood, of acting. I was tired of television by the time Gossip Girl came around.
We love Dan.
Do you?
He went through his phases.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the sideburns at the time.
Oh my goodness.
No.
If I could have seen in real life the side of my head, I guarantee you, I would have never.
You have to tell me who you think should have been Gossip Girl.
We all wanted it to be Dorota. They needed to be one of the core six.
You get to call yourself one of the core six.
I'm not just the core six, I'm Gossip Girl, baby. You are Daddy, I am Gossip Girl. These are facts. When I was 14, I saw my parents dance together. It was long after they've been divorced. It was at a function for a show I was on, and they danced together for one song. It demonstrated a closeness that I didn't realize until years later, when I was like, why do I remember this and think about it every now and then? And because it made me uncomfortable. It made me feel a type of way that I couldn't identify. But that is to say, they demonstrated a closeness that I had never seen them have. They're a generation where they had so little modeling of like the consciousness that we have now around, relationship dynamics, like listening and I'm saying I'm sorry. There was
what a
these
concept.
Things didn't exist. Because I was starved for many kinds of intimacy. The one kind that I understood, didn't understand it, was sexual and romantic intimacy. So, I think as soon as those, I was going to try to think of a word other than juices, but, those
Juices
chemicals were flowing. That's when I just craved that. And show me a teenager who doesn't really, I think it's of course quite typical, but I think particularly for people who grow up in homes where there isn't a lot of intimacy, I think what they crave is that, you crave what you see in the Notebook or whatever, and we didn't have that then, but the Titanic, good Lord, I wanted that, love comes in so many forms, and it's actually tragic for us all that we have conflated it so completely with just sex. But, from a very young age, that's what I wanted.
When I interviewed Nate Archibald, aka Chase Crawford, he told me that he and Ed Westwick would throw these rooftop parties at their apartment. Did you ever get invited, and did you ever go? Did
I get invited? Of course. It wasn't like they were sending out invites, but I didn't go much. I was not a partier.
Okay, what were you doing during your rise to fame in New York City?
Sitting at home. I remember the first time that I had to pay for a bottle. And this was years later. Years later. Okay. I took somebody out. They really wanted to go out. I go to some place I don't even remember the name of that I've been to many times. I bought a bottle. And I was like, I'm sorry, come again? What? Wait. Whoa. So not only have I been getting free bottles my whole 20s, completely unaware, people pay for this? I was like, yeah, I feel good about not having done this a bunch. Stunned me. It stunned me. I was like, people have to save up to waste it this quickly.
Did you have people thinking, because of your life in New York City, being this it guy, you had this access and this lifestyle that you weren't living in Gramercy?
Yeah, certainly for Gossip Girl. Certainly because of the early 2000s celebrity city thing, you know, and Crimea River, it's not a big deal. What I say is as a witness to it, not as a complaint. But I think one of the aspects of celebrity that you deal with constantly is just like, everybody just thinks you're somebody you're not. Hello, I am Penn Badgley. I was just on Call Her Daddy. I'm about to do rapid fire as Joe and Dan.
Let's go.
How many times is it okay to hook up with your ex before you have to cut off contact? Okay, now I'm answering as Joe and Dan.
Yes, Dan.
Because, you know, with Penn, I'd be like, I don't play those games.
Yeah.
All right?
Dan, specifically is Dan Humphrey.
Dan is like, is she ever your ex? And Joe is like, is she ever your ex? That's basically it. If you were in jail, who's the first person that you would call? Dan would say Rufus. Probably. He
would call Rufus, and then Rufus would be like, Dan, we're broke. I can't get you out. And then you'd call Chuck.
I'd be like, Dad, sell the... You're sitting on an $8 million loft, Dad.
It's fine.
An $8 million loft. You live in it all alone. Joe, I'm sorry, he would have nobody. That's the sadness of Joe. How do you feel when people doubt you? He would just be like, yeah, figures. He'd be like, I'm gonna make it! I'm gonna make it in this town! File that away. Gonna write about that one. Also, it's not me. What's up? What are you doing? How do you feel when people doubt you, Joe? I think it'd be like this, like, what does he feel? He feels like, rage, total rage. What's been your most chaotic night out? Well, for Dan, it would be, didn't he have a threesome?
Oh my fucking god!
That, although it wasn't out, it was in that $8 million loft. Woke up next morning, had waffles.
So Dan.
Come on. What's been your most chaotic night out for Joe? Joe, well, literally chopping up a body.
End scene. Thank you.
I nailed that shit.
Woo!